What's going on, everyone? Welcome into the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel. My name is Kyle Yates, and I will be with you for the next hour answering your start-sit questions all the way up until kickoff of the 1 o'clock games. I want to clear something up really quick. I am not dressed up as Woody from Toy Story. I am actually dressed up as Dan Harris. Okay, so just clearing that up right now. Dressed up as Dan Harris. No, guys, I'm excited to be here with you. We're gonna go through the actives and inactives just like we do every single week that we have over here on Fantasy Pros /Game Day. I'll tell you more about that in a little bit, which is a fantastic tool for you to be able to watch and monitor as you watch through the games. And then we'll be answering your start-sit questions. I am going to make a small announcement here. Probably a larger announcement. I will be out for the next 2 weeks after this live stream, so you are not going to have me here next Sunday or the Sunday after answering your start-sit questions. I will be going on paternity leave. We are going into the hospital tomorrow to have a baby. We're gonna have our second child here, so really excited for that. Excited to be here with you, though. Let's get through the actives and inactives here. So ruled out here. We got Zach Wilson. Obviously, we knew this coming into this game. It's going to be Mike White as the quarterback for the New York Jets. Corey Davis, also with the New York Jets, has been ruled out here. He was doubtful after a DNP on Friday, but we got official confirmation here. Really, at this point, the only New York Jets player that you should be considering starting at this point is Michael Carter, the running back, and that is as a low end RB2, high end RB3. So Corey Davis ruled out here. If you've got him in your starting lineups, make sure to get him out. Dawson Knox ruled out. We knew this one with the broken hand there. Eric Ebron ruled out. This bumps up Pat Freiermuth slightly into mid-range tight end 2 territory. I think if you are in a pinch, you need a starting tight end, you can absolutely look his way. Donovan Peoples-Jones has been ruled out here. Terrace Marshall, we knew that he was ruled out as well. Julio Jones ruled out. This happened earlier on this week, so we knew that Julio is out for this one. We're going to see a lot of A.J. Brown this week. Jamal Williams, this was a surprise one here that happened at 11:30. I've not seen anything as far as why exactly he was ruled out. To my recollection, he was not dealing with an injury, so haven't had time to dive into that fully, but he is ruled out here. This bumps up DeAndre Swift slightly. We were already playing DeAndre Swift no matter what, but this bumps him up into mid-range RB1 territory for me. I think I've got him at 6 on the week. Miles Sanders, we knew this one ruled out here. We're going to see Kenneth Gainwell. However, we are also going to see Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard here going to handle the first and second down workload for the Philadelphia Eagles offense. And then Kenneth Gainwell will remain in his third down role, that pass catch and complement role. He might see an uptick in carries here just slightly and touches, but I think that we're not going to have him handle the full workload like we maybe thought that would have happened when Miles Sanders immediately went down. We talked about that all throughout this week here on Waiver Wire Podcasts and on the Friday Start Sit show that Dan and I do. So Kenneth Gainwell is at RB24 in my running back rankings this week. He's someone that you can start and probably should start just due to the matchup, but I don't think that he has top 12 upside this week. Antonio Brown ruled out here. It sounds like we're going to see him after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers bye week, so we could have him back sooner rather than later. Antonio Brown ruled out for this one, though. Both Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, solid plays. De'Ami Brown, you're not really looking at playing him, and Curtis Samuel still ruled out here for Washington. Game time decisions, Rob Gronkowski. From all indications that I've seen, Rob Gronkowski is going to play. This is still obviously coming down to a game time decision, but as of right now, if you ask me, I think he's going to play. I have him at tight end 8. So unless you have one of those other top tier options, this hat is super uncomfortable. Unless you have one of the other top tier options at the tight end position, you are playing Rob Gronkowski. But maybe wise to have a backup plan in place. Dak Prescott, game time decision here. This is a big one. At this point, Dak Prescott is QB 13 in my rankings here, just based on the fact that we don't know what we're going to get out of him. If he plays, he's a solid play. He's someone that you're absolutely looking to start because it's Dak Prescott. This game could easily turn into a shootout. However, this is the Sunday night game, so you need to have a backup plan in place if you are going to wait this one out with Dak. If you have a better option, if you have a top 12 option here, then I think that you just easily just play them. Don't take the risk. Don't potentially, have someone else pick up one of these other backup plans on waivers or anything like that. Like, don't play that game. If you've got one of the top 12 options, then you just play them over Dak Prescott at this point. Expected to play here, Austin Eckler. We got a fun indication on Twitter that Austin Eckler put himself in his starting lineup in his fantasy football league. So we are going to see Austin Eckler playing this week. He is a top 10 running back for me in my running back rankings. Devontae Parker expected to play here. Parker is just outside my top 40 wide receivers on the week. So if you absolutely need to, you can look Parker's way. However, tough matchup up against Buffalo. I think that it's better to look somewhere else if you have the options. Odell Beckham Jr. is expected to play. This is a guy who's even lower than Devontae Parker in my wide receiver rankings. Just dealing with the injuries, just dealing with the fact that he plays for Cleveland. It's just not working for Odell Beckham Jr. this year. And so at this point, we need to sit him until we see consecutive solid games here from him. So I am sitting Odell Beckham Jr. If I can, he is wide receiver 45 or 46. In my rankings, T.Y. Hilton expected to play here. This is merely a flex play. This is a boomer bust flex option. Great matchup up against Tennessee. I think this is going to be a fun one to watch. However, T.Y. Hilton, if I can, I'm sitting him. DeAndre Swift expected to play. Just talked about that with Jamal Williams. He's a solid play as a mid-range running back one. Alex Collins is expected to play here. Great matchup up against Jacksonville. However, he just has not gotten it done as far as efficiency, even with the volume that he's received. So he is RB23 in my rankings. I would look elsewhere if you have one of those top 22 options, but he is someone that you can play as a flex option or as a low-end RB2 if you're in a pinch. Kendrick Bourne expected to play here, the wide receiver for the New England Patriots. You're not really looking his way in a tough matchup against the Chargers secondary. And Jonnu Smith is also expected to play. I would love to see the involvement continue, the usage for Jonnu Smith before he left last week's game with an injury in this one, but I am not looking his way in any fantasy lineups. All right, let's get to your start sit questions. We'll go here with need one wide receiver, 2 running backs, and a flex. Which 2 should I bench? Claypool, Sutton, Khalil Herbert, Elijah Mitchell, Gibson, and McKissick. Okay. So you need one wide receiver. Let's answer that one first. Claypool or Sutton? I'm going to play Claypool there. I think he has a higher ceiling. Sutton, I'm concerned about Sutton. It's a great matchup. Concerned about him with Jerry Jeudy returning to the lineup. So I'm a little bit concerned about the target volume here. For Sutton, I have him a little bit lower in my wide receiver rankings than Claypool. I would take the shot on Claypool. There's your wide receiver, 2 running backs. I am going to go, you have Khalil Herbert, Elijah Mitchell, Antonio Gibson. I think I have all of these guys back to back in my rankings. So let's figure this out. All right, so at running back, I have Antonio Gibson at 19, Elijah Mitchell at 20, Khalil Herbert at 21. So if you're asking me, I'm going to play Antonio Gibson, then Elijah Mitchell over Khalil Herbert. McKissick is a little bit further down in my rankings. I'm not looking his way. It's then for your flex spot, it's between if you want to play Khalil Herbert or Cortland Sutton. It depends what you need. If you need a safe floor, I think you can go with Herbert. If you need the upside, I think you can go with Sutton. Matt Ellis, Jeudy, or Devontae Smith in PPR. I'm going to go with Devontae Smith here. I have Smith at 24. I have Jeudy at 32. I like Jerry Jeudy moving forward, but in his first game back, I would prefer to look elsewhere if I can. Let's go with Waddle or Lockett. They're right in the same range for me. I'm going to give the slight edge to Waddle. He's matching up against Taron Johnson out of the slot in that game in Buffalo, so I'm not expecting major upside here for Waddle, but I do think that he'll see plenty of targets. I'll go with Jalen Waddle at 29, Tyler Lockett at 31, and Lockett is really only at 31 because of the matchup. There's the potential that he can break away a big play here, but I'm not expecting a ton from Tyler Lockett. Let's go with Len Lopinto. With Dak questionable, do I wait, then start Daniel Jones if Dak doesn't play, or just go with Lawrence or Matt Ryan? So for me, I am actually going to go with Daniel Jones at this point. I talked about Dak being, if you have one of those top 12 options, then you just roll with them. For me, I've got Daniel Jones higher than Dak at this point. So Jones with the matchup up against Kansas City, I think that he has plenty of upside in his own right. I would prefer to just play Daniel Jones, but or you said, or just go with Lawrence or Matt Ryan. Those guys are further down, so I would just wait it out. If Dak plays, then you can play him over Daniel Jones. If Dak doesn't play, then you've got Daniel Jones on the Monday night game. Grant Ralston, good morning, Kyle. Full PPR, Jeudy or Sanders? Emmanuel Sanders I have at 25 on the week. And then Jeudy I have at 32. So I would play Emmanuel Sanders. All right, guys, I mentioned it earlier. I want to tell you about Fantasy Pros Game Day. What is Fantasy Pros Game Day? You get real-time play-by-play for all of your players on all of your fantasy rosters. We track your matchups across all your leagues, giving you the ability to monitor fantasy leaders, stats, and scores for the entire season. Game Day is live on NFL Thursdays, Sundays, and Mondays, but you can only find it at fantasypros.com/gameday or by downloading the Fantasy Pros My Playbook app in the iTunes or Google Play stores. Again, a fantastic resource that we have here at Fantasy Pros. Make sure that you check it out at fantasypros.com/gameday or by finding it in your app store. Anthony G, Keenan Allen, or Devontae Smith. I'm going to go with Keenan Allen there. I have Allen at 19 on the week. I have Devontae Smith at 24. Devontae Smith, great matchup this week up against Detroit. But Keenan Allen, I still feel a little bit more confident in what we're going to get out of him. And it's more so I have more confidence in the quarterback play than I with Justin Herbert than I do with Jalen Hurts. And I don't think anyone's fighting me on that. Oliver Scott, Gronk, or Goddard. Goddard is tight end 3 for me on the week. You got to play Goddard. Gronk has plenty of upside, but he's still a game time decision. So unless I have, I said it earlier, unless I have one of those top 7 options above Gronk in my rankings, then you play one of those. Jude Delosier, pick 2, half PPR, Javonte Williams, Michael Carter, Jerry Jeudy. I'm going to go with, it's actually a really good question. I have Michael Carter at 26. I have Javonte Williams at 28. And then Jeudy at 32 in my wide receiver ranking. So for me, I would play Michael Carter. I think that he's going to get a ton of targets in this one, especially with Corey Davis out. Like he's going to get plenty of targets out of the backfield with Mike White at quarterback. And then Javonte Williams, a little bit further down, tougher matchup for the running backs. It's a better matchup for the wide receivers and tight ends there. So unless Javonte Williams finds the end zone, I don't think that he's going to finish higher than Michael Carter. And then Jerry Jeudy, I would start in this matchup. I just mentioned the wide receiver matchup there for Denver against Washington. Matt Garrett, hey, it's full PPR flex. You need one of them, Emmanuel Sanders, Darrell Williams, or Khalil Herbert. Williams has plenty of upside in this matchup against the New York Giants. I think that we see the Chiefs offense bounce back here, but Emmanuel Sanders in this matchup up against Miami has ridiculous upside. So I will play Emmanuel Sanders there. Cliff, Gainwell, Javonte Williams, or Jeudy. Gainwell is at 24, Williams at 28 in my running back rankings, Jeudy at 32, depending on the format. If it's a standard league, you can go with Javonte Williams there. If it's a half PPR, I'd probably go with Gainwell. If it's a full PPR, I'd probably go, half PPR, I would go with Jeudy. Full PPR, I would go with Gainwell. Antonio Parker or Mooney, and full PPR, I'll go Parker there. Mooney, until we see it, man. Until we see it, I cannot play any of the Chicago Bears receiving options. I will go with Devontae Parker, even in a tough matchup. AKA Bloody, hey Yates, congrats on the baby. Thank you so much. I really need help. Full PPR, P. Ryan, Singletary, Scott or Howard, Lindsey or Penny. Ooh, yeah, you need help. Samaje P. Ryan, Devin Singletary, Boston Scott or Jordan Howard, Philip Lindsay or Rashad Penny. Honestly, for me, I'm going to go with the sneaky play of Samaje P. Ryan. We look at that game script and how it could play out here for the Cincinnati Bengals, going up big on the New York Jets. I think that we could easily see Samaje P. Ryan see 15 touches in this one. And the matchup on the ground is amazing. This is the best matchup for opposing running backs in all of fantasy football. So if we see that game script play out the way that it's supposed to, then P. Ryan honestly has the most upside. There's a little bit of risk there, but what's the upside with Singletary? What's the upside with Jordan Howard? I don't think Boston Scott's going to get more than 5 touches in this one. Philip Lindsay, what's the upside? Rashad Penny, what's the upside? You need the upside there. You go with Samaje P. Ryan. Seeing some alerts come through, so just trying to scan them. Alan C, Devontae Smith or Cole Beasley. I will go with Devontae Smith there. Cole Beasley further down in my rankings, borderline top 40 option. So Devontae Smith at 24. Evan B, Conklin, Ingram, or Freiermuth in full PPR. Conklin, Ingram, or Freiermuth. Honestly, for me, I'm going to go with Freiermuth. I think that with Juju Smith-Schuster out and commanding those over the middle of the field targets and Eric Ebron out as well, I think Freiermuth has an excellent chance to see 7, 8, 9 targets in this one. And if that's the case, we know he's got the talent to be a factor for fantasy football. I will go with Freiermuth there. Tamara Coleman, T.Y. Hilton, or KJ Osborne in the wide receiver slot since AB is out. I would feel comfortable recommending KJ Osborne over T.Y. Hilton if we knew that Dak was going to play, because that would lead to a significant back and forth, battle all throughout all 4 quarters in this one. I can't do that confidently. I don't know if Dak is going to play or not, so I will go with T.Y. Hilton here just for the upside. They're both in the same range, though. Tony or Sutton? I don't think Tony's going to play, honestly, so I would just play it safe and play Sutton. K-Wads, half PPR, DJ Moore or CD Lamb? I will play DJ Moore at that point. Again, without Dak, we don't know what Cooper Rush is going to be able to do. That downgrades the wide receivers significantly if we don't have Dak on the field, so I will go with DJ Moore there, play it safe. Dominique White, Thielen or Higgins? Very good question. They are, I think, back-to-back. I have Adam Thielen at 20. I have T. Higgins at 22. Again, got to find the balance there of this Dallas Minnesota game of like, all right, what's the game script? What's it going to be? So playing it a little bit safe here with Adam Thielen. I think he has top 12 upside this week if we were to have Dak play. And again, that battle, that game script playing out that I just talked about. So downgrade him slightly here, but still ahead of T. Higgins. Higgins is going to have to score in like the first quarter, second quarter to finish as a top 15 option, just based on the fact that the second half they could just completely run the ball against the New York Jets. This defense, this DST is going to be the number one option on the week for Cincinnati. Mike Hanley, PPR sit one. Michael Pittman Jr., Chuba Hubbard, Khalil Herbert, or Damian Harris. For me, honestly, I'm sitting Khalil Herbert there, just based on the offense. Chuba Hubbard is the other one that's in consideration. I really like Damian Harris this week up against the Chargers run defense. Pittman is locked into your lineup at this point. Got him as a top 20 play. So for me, it's between Hubbard and Khalil Herbert, who are in the same range for me. So really all depend upon what you feel comfortable with. I think I would probably just play it safe and just sit Khalil Herbert, honestly. That's the way that I'm viewing this up against the San Francisco defense versus Hubbard going up against Atlanta. But again, they're in the same tier. You can flip a coin. Russell Gage or Kadarius Toney in PPR. I'm just playing it safe with Russell Gage. I forgot to mention Calvin Ridley is out this week. When I was talking through game day, Calvin Ridley is out this week. This thing is itchy as heck. Calvin Ridley out this week with a personal matter. So we have get Ridley out of your starting lineups for starters. And then at that point, you look at Kyle Pitts being the main beneficiary there. And then Russell Gage also getting an uptick in work. Cordero Patterson's going to see an uptick in work as well. So I feel really confident with Russell Gage as a low-end wide receiver. As a low-end wide receiver 3 to mid-range. So I've got him at 30 on the week right now, going up against Carolina. This defense is going to be interesting to see now that they've got Stephon Gilmore, I think, playing this week. So it's going to be interesting to monitor, but Russell Gage for me is at 30 on the week. I would play him over Kadarius Toney, even if Toney plays, and I don't think that Toney plays. Travis H., Gainwell, Sutton, or Cooks in PPR. That's close between Gainwell and Sutton. Cooks is a little bit further down just based on the fact that we have Davis Mills starting here again against the Los Angeles Rams defense. If it was Tyrod Taylor, I'd probably lean Cooks there, but a little bit further down. It's between Gainwell and Sutton for me. In a full PPR, I'll probably just take the upside with Gainwell in that matchup against Detroit, but that is super, super close between him and Cortland Sutton. Zane Pittman or Chuba Hubbard or CD Lamb or Michael Carter in full PPR. CD Lamb, I think, is still ahead in my rankings of Michael Pittman Jr., but that is super close. I have Pittman at 17. I have CD Lamb at 13. Chuba Hubbard, not in consideration for me. Michael Carter could be a nice play in sneaky play in full PPR, just based on how many targets, but I just don't know if I want to invest significantly in this offense over more proven options like CD Lamb or Michael Pittman Jr. I'm going to still take the shot that Dak plays and go with CD Lamb, but if you don't want to take that risk and you want to play Pittman, it's definitely right in the same range for me. You can feel confident just playing Pittman. Let's go with Dave LeBlanc, Schultz or Ricky Seals-Jones in half PPR. I have Ricky Seals-Jones at 12. I have Dalton Schultz at 7, so I will play Dalton Schultz. I think even if it is Cooper Rush, then Schultz I think is just going to be safe no matter what, just based on these short area targets there. Could see plenty of work. I'll go with Dalton Schultz over Ricky Seals-Jones. Jack Hopkins, Cordero Patterson with Ridley out, or Damian Harris in a full PPR. I honestly think I would just play, at that point, I would just play Cordero Patterson. Yes, I have Patterson at 14. I have Damian Harris at 15. So I think you can just go with Cordero Patterson over Damian Harris with Ridley out. Master Amp half PPR, CD, Higgins, Woods, or Mitchell. Pick one for the flex. So half PPR, CD Lamb, T. Higgins, Robert Woods, or Elijah Mitchell, and pick one of them. As of right now, I think I will still go with CD Lamb. Robert Woods would be the next guy up against Houston. Great matchup there. I've got Woods at 18 on the week, so just kind of what I just finished talking about with Pittman Jr. versus CD Lamb. Pittman at 17, Woods at 18. Really all depends just what your risk tolerance is. How risky do you want to play this? And I think that CD Lamb for me would still be the play. But if you want to pivot and you want to go to Robert Woods, that's perfectly fine with me. Elijah Mitchell out of consideration for me a little bit further down over those guys. Brendan C, Uzama or Higbee. Uzama's been great, but he's been doing it on 3 targets. So Higbee here against the most favorable matchup, or at least one of the most favorable matchups for opposing tight ends. You play your tight ends against Houston, and Higbee is a locked in starter for me. I have Higbee at 5 on the week. I have CJ Uzama at 14. Vil Fern, Gage or Claypool in full PPR. It's a little bit closer. Claypool has plenty of upside, but a little bit of a lower floor. Gage, I think, is going to bring a safe floor. So Gage at 29 for me. Didn't move him up since the last question. And then Claypool at 23. I moved Brandon Cooks down to 30. So Claypool at 23 for me. Gage at 29. Depends on what you need. Do you need the safe floor? You go with Gage. Do you need the upside? You go with Claypool. Ernie Torres, Robert Woods, or Antonio Gibson at the flex in a full PPR. I will play Robert Woods at that point, especially in a full PPR. Antonio Gibson, I think, is going to be all systems go here, but tougher matchup. So I will play Robert Woods over Antonio Gibson. Octacon, Howdy Yates. Okay, speaking of which, I have this weird, I don't know if you can even see it here, but do you see this little white thing? All right, this is like a pull string on the back of this costume, and it is annoying. All right, so I can't even like sit fully back in my chair without feeling this thing on my back. Super annoying. Anyway, Howdy Yates. Should I flex Devontae Booker or Keenan Allen in half PPR? Just play it safe. Play Keenan Allen there. I think Devontae Booker is fine, but we know that this offense has a wide range of outcomes. Keenan Allen, I feel comfortable with what I'm going to get from him every single week. Christopher Moore, PPR, Hunter Henry or Dalton Schultz. I will play Dalton Schultz there. I've got Henry at 8. Dalton Schultz at 7. Pretty close. Dan Hunter, hey Kyle, half PPR, Mark Ingram, Mike Davis, or Brandon Bolden. I know it's bleak. Yeah, it is, Dan. I think I will play Brandon Bolden, honestly, just based on the fact that we're going to have to see Mac Jones throw the ball a little bit more here. But I don't think my rankings say that. No, at this point, I think I will play Mike Davis, actually. I'm going to change that. I've got Mike Davis at 37. I got to trust my process. I will go with Mike Davis at 37. With Calvin Ridley out, there's a potential that he sees a little bit more work in the receiving game. So, but yeah, it's pretty gross. I've got Mike Davis at 37, Brandon Bolden at 45, Mark Ingram at 47. Don't want to play Ingram in his first game against Tampa Bay of all teams. JDA, Darnell Mooney, Mecole Hardman, Jarvis Landry, or Allen Robinson for my full PPR flex. All these guys kind of in the same range for me. Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney further down outside my top 40. Mecole Hardman in that range as well. I think I do have Jarvis Landry. I have Jarvis Landry at 40. So let me just list off where I've got these guys. I've got Landry at 40, Darnell Mooney at 45, Allen Robinson at 46, and Mecole Hardman at 48. So I would just play Jarvis Landry. Lyle Slauson, full PPR, Gesicki or Lockett in the flex. I'm going to play the double tight end there, man. I'm going to play Gesicki. I've got him at, I think, 4 on the week. Yeah, I've got Gesicki at 4. Again, tougher matchup, but Gesicki's been coming through in a big way for fantasy lineups here recently. So I will just, I'll play Gesicki over Lockett, who is doing the opposite of what Gesicki has been doing. Scott Brown, Trevor Lawrence, or Tannehill? Great question. I have Trevor Lawrence at 16. I have Ryan Tannehill at 11 on the week. So I will play Ryan Tannehill here. Even though he doesn't have Julio Jones, this matchup up against Indy is actually pretty good. And I think that we'll see Ryan Tannehill throw the ball a little bit more than usual. So I've got Tannehill at 11, Trevor Lawrence at 16. Awesome Key Comics. Mike Davis or drop for Alex Collins? You drop Mike Davis for Alex Collins. We don't know when Chris Carson's coming back. We have no idea what this injury looks like from his perspective. And dealing with a neck injury that's not, super cut and dry as far as, we know when he's coming back from a sprained ankle or, something like that, where we can at least project what that timeline is going to look like. This is a neck injury, and it sounds like it could be a lingering kind of thing. So I don't know if he's even coming back this year, and Alex Collins is getting work. So I will go, I'll easily drop Mike Davis for Alex Collins in that situation. CJ Remp, half PPR, choose one. Robert Woods, Michael Pittman Jr., or Cortland Sutton. All right, so in the same range for me as far as the first two, Michael Pittman Jr. at 17 on the week for me, and then Robert Woods at 18, and Cortland Sutton at 27 on the week. So I would play, personally, I would play Michael Pittman Jr. over Robert Woods, but that is pretty close, all dependent upon which one you want to roll with. If these situations are like where they're back to back in my rankings, or at least in the same tier, I'm going to say who I have highest, and then I'm going to let you kind of decide. I'm going to give you the guidance, and I'll let you play it out, because really I'm not going to have a hard stance on that one way or another. So Michael Pittman Jr. at 17 for me, Robert Woods at 18, and then Cortland Sutton at 27 on the week. I've gotten a few questions about Sutton. I don't think I've ever said so far this live stream where I've got Sutton. He's at 27. From Chris, Mo Alley Cox or Seals Jones. I will play Ricky Seals Jones there. Feel more confident with the routes run, the targets. Mo Alley Cox, he's finding the end zone, but that's not a sticky stat, right? Where we look at the things that lead to consistent production. That's targets, that's routes run, that's stuff like that. The ancillary supporting statistics there. So Ricky Seals Jones higher in my rankings for sure. Tyler Hupp, wait, is this Kyle or Dan? McKissick or Pollard? I will go with Pollard in that situation over McKissick. And also, if Dak is out, Schultz or the Muth. I'm assuming that's Pat Freiermuth. I will go with Dalton Schultz regardless. I like Pat Freiermuth this week, but a little bit further down than Dalton Schultz, even if Dak is out. TLD 100, Mike Williams, Damian Harris, and Herbert in half PPR. Pick two, please. I will go with Mike Williams for sure. Williams, I haven't gotten asked about him yet this week. He is at 11, or asked about him today. He is at 11 in my wide receiver rankings. Damian Harris at 15 in my running back rankings, and then Herbert at 21. So I will play Mike Williams. I will play Damian Harris. Flavio Gross, Connor. James Conner already played, bro. Miles Gaskin or David Johnson have PPR. I will go with, in that situation between Gaskin or David Johnson, I will go with Miles Gaskin, but not expecting great things from either one of them. Gregory Jones, Waddle, or Myers in the flex in a PPR. I will go with Waddle there. I have Waddle at 28 on the week. I have Jacoby Myers at 36. Juan, Gesicki, or Uzama. You play Mike Gesicki there. That's a difference of 10 spots in my tight end rankings. You play Mike Gesicki. HR, hi Kyle, who would you start at the flex? Cole Beasley, Jacoby Myers, Khalif Raymond, or Tony Pollard? For me, I'm going to go with Jacoby Myers, I think. I have Myers at 36. I have Cole Beasley at 37. And then I have Khalif Raymond outside my top 50. And then Tony Pollard, he would be in consideration for me if we knew that Dak wasn't out, because I think they're going to lean on the run game more, but I just don't have that guarantee. So I will play Jacoby Myers over Cole Beasley. Let's find some more questions. All right, let's go with Bradley. T. Higgins or Damian Harris in full PPR. In a full PPR, I will go with T. Higgins there. Just over Damian Harris, and no involvement in the receiving game. Great matchup on the ground, but so if it was a standard league, I'd probably go with Damian Harris, but in a half or full PPR, I will go with T. Higgins. Uriah Robinson with Ridley out, Myers, Gage, or Raymond in half PPR. I will play Gage in that situation. I have Gage at 29 in my wide receiver rankings, Myers at 36, and Khalif Raymond not in consideration for me. Sujay, Tony versus KJ Osborne. I will play just KJ Osborne. I don't know if Tony's going to play, and even if he does, what's his health status? So I will just play KJ Osborne. Louis Castro, half PPR, Shepard, Booker, Hubbard, or Higgins. I will play T. Higgins in that situation. I like that matchup for Higgins, and then obviously the game script could play a role in his ceiling, but I think he's going to bring an incredibly safe floor. Even in a game last week where they won 41-17, he had 15 targets, right? So even if they do go up big, I don't think that it's going to necessarily kill T. Higgins. I got call Ed. Hi, Dan Harris. Congrats on the new baby. Thank you so much. Question: pick one to start in half PPR flex. Antonio Gibson, Deontay Johnson, Chuba Hubbard. Crap, I lost the question. Freaking YouTube chat. This is the worst. I am trying to find the question again so I can remember who you asked about. There we go. Antonio Gibson, Deontay Johnson, Chuba Hubbard. I will go with Deontay Johnson. I feel I have Deontay Johnson at 12 on the week in my wide receiver rankings. typically in those flex conversations, I'm looking at the wide receiver anyway. And so over Antonio Gibson, over Chuba Hubbard, who are further down in my running back rankings, that's a pretty easy decision for me to say start Deontay Johnson. Brian Phelps, Cousins, or Tannehill. Cousins is an interesting one here because, again, talked about it with the game script of Dallas and Minnesota. If we had Dak, then I would say Kirk Cousins has like top 3 upside this week, right? Because he's going to be battling it out for all 4 quarters. And the matchup against Dallas' secondary is actually not that bad. So I think Cousins is at 9 for me in my quarterback rankings. I still think that he's going to get enough done here to finish there. I don't know if he has that top 5 upside though if Dak doesn't play. Ryan Tannehill is at 11 for me. So I will still play Kirk Cousins, but that is pretty close. They're in the same tier. All depends on how you think that game's going to happen here on Sunday night, but you got to make that decision here pretty quick with the 1 o'clock games. So personally, I am playing Kirk Cousins, over Ryan Tannehill. I've got Cousins going in a couple of spots in my 1 QB, leagues that I'm streaming him, and I still feel confident no matter what that even if Dak doesn't play, that we're still going to have a good game here from Kirk Cousins. Antonio Gibson or Alex Collins in half PPR. I will play Antonio Gibson there. Dan Edwards. You didn't ask a question there. Cole Bello standard. Mixon or Swift. I will play DeAndre Swift with the news that Jamal Williams is out. I have Swift at 7. I have Joe Mixon at 9. James Batt, full PPR, Hurts or Burrow. I will play Hurts there. I've got Hurts at QB4 on the week. It's not a good NFL quarterback, but he's getting the job done for fantasy football, and it's a great matchup up against Detroit. So I'll play Jalen Hurts. He's got him at QB4 on the week. Burrow at 7. Laviska Shenault or bet on Kadarius Toney. I will just play Laviska Shenault over Kadarius Toney. I'll just play. They're in the same range for me, even if Toney does play. So you just play it safe. Go with Laviska Shenault. Bucks zone FTC start 2 in a full PPR. Deontay Johnson, Michael Pittman, Jerry Jeudy, and Emmanuel Sanders. So I will start Deontay Johnson for sure, and then I will start Michael Pittman Jr. over Emmanuel Sanders and Jerry Jeudy. And then should I start Ricky Seals-Jones over Schultz because of the injury to Dak? Talked about this earlier. Even with Dak potentially not playing, then I still think that Schultz is going to be fine. He might not have the upside, right, to find the end zone or whatever, but short area targets, I think you'll see plenty. So I will still play Schultz there. Adam, that's a trade question. I don't want to get into that here today. We'll do some other trade and stuff like that later on. Shakori Easter, Ridley out, T.Y. Hilton or C.D. Lamb in a standard league. I will go with, I'll go with C.D. Lamb there, even with Dak's questions. Christian Kalebler, full PPR flex, Marvin Jones or Gainwell. I will play Gainwell there. I think that, I'll go Gainwell there, but that's pretty close. I think I have Marvin Jones at 27 in my wide receiver rankings off the top of my head. 26. And then Gainwell at 24. Super, super close. I'll give the slight edge to Gainwell. Jeffrey Rosenthal, Fournette, Pittman, or Elijah Mitchell. Probably play Pittman there. Fournette, tougher matchup against New Orleans' run defense, and Elijah Mitchell a little bit further down there. Tougher matchup too against Chicago. I will play Michael Pittman Jr. Nick Bauer, full PPR, pick 1, Khalil Herbert, Antonio Gibson, or Michael Carter. I will play Antonio Gibson over Khalil Herbert and Michael Carter. I've got Gibson at 19, Herbert at 21, Michael Carter a little bit further down. Joe Graham, PPR, Jerry Jeudy or Khalil Herbert. Jerry Jeudy or Khalil Herbert. I will play the matchup game with Jerry Jeudy there up against Washington. I think that you should soak up targets here. I'll go with Jerry Jeudy over Khalil Herbert there, but that's close. Jamie Justice, pick 1, full PPR. Amari Cooper, Cortland Sutton, T. Higgins. So Amari Cooper I have at 21, T. Higgins at 22, and then Sutton at 27. If we knew that Dak was out, I would probably have Amari Cooper down around Marvin Jones area, around 26, probably around Cortland Sutton area anyway. So I will just play it safe. I'll play T. Higgins over Amari Cooper. Chemo Kid, half PPR, Hubbard or Sanders. I will go with Emmanuel Sanders there over Tuber Hubbard. I think he has more upside. DTM, Shepard or Alex Collins in a full PPR flex. I do think that Sterling Shepard is on track to play in a great matchup. I think that he's enticing there. I will probably play Sterling Shepard over Alex Collins. I know that it's a tougher matchup for or I'm sorry, I know that's a great matchup for Alex Collins, but man, I just don't think that there's a ton of upside with Alex Collins. Sterling Shepard, if you don't want to wait it out, though, if you don't have another pivot option that you can go to, you just play Alex Collins. They're in the same range for me as far as flex options, so I'm fine playing Alex Collins over Sterling Shepard. But if I knew Shepard was going to play, like 100% new, then I would play Shepard. Cold Havoc, full PPR flex, Alex Collins, Kadarius Toney, or Michael Carter. I will play in a full PPR Michael Carter there. Again, Kadarius Toney, I don't know if he's going to play. I don't know what his health status is as far as his workload or anything like that. I will play Michael Carter there in the full PPR flex. Damian Harris. Damian Harris asking a question. Standard, Scary Terry on Halloween or AJ Brown? I will play AJ Brown there. I've got him at 6, and I have Terry McLaurin at 15 on the week. So I will play easily AJ Brown. WizX, half PPR flex, Lockett or David Johnson. Ew. I will play Tyler Lockett there. David Johnson, I don't know what this backfield's going to look like with Mark Ingram out of the picture. I do think that we could see Scotty Phillips activated and him receive some work as well, which just kind of limits the overall upside for Philip Lindsay or David Johnson as if there were any. So I'll just play Tyler Lockett there. Better matchup against Jacksonville. Bridger Danielson, Hunter Henry or Dalton Schultz. Pretty close for me. I've got Schultz at 7, Hunter Henry at 8. If we knew that Jonnu Smith was going to be out here, I would probably say Hunter Henry, but I will go with Dalton Schultz. The half guard, full PPR, Zach Moss or Higbee for the flex. I will go. Chris, what are you doing? Chris, what are you doing? You're like, okay, I didn't know if you were doing that to me. Talking to my producer back here is just having like a full-on jam session. Anyway. Okay, all right. So we're good. Let's go. The half guard, full PPR, Zach Moss or Higbee for the flex. I will go with Higbee there in a full PPR. Zach Moss has upside in this one with the matchup against Miami. They could go up big, but I will go with Higbee. Mike, hi Kyle, nice costume. Thank you. I'm wearing this because a friend gave it to us because my son is going as Buzz Lightyear. And then my wife, who is obviously very, very pregnant, is wearing a pink sweatshirt and pink sweatpants and is going as the piggy bank from Toy Story. So we'll post a picture, I'm sure, on social media later. Nice costume. Thanks for all your football advice. Thank you so much. Full PPR format, flex position, Tyler Lockett or Gainwell. I will go with Gainwell there. I'll play it safe. I feel more confident in what I'm going to get out of Gainwell than I do with Tyler Lockett. Sam C, half PPR, Gronk or Hunter Henry. I will play Hunter Henry there. I've got Gronk at kind of 9 on the week, 10. And he is at 10 because Zach Ertz was at 9 for me. So I've got Hunter Henry at 8. I think you play Hunter Henry over Gronk. Roderick, Jones, Tony, Cooks, or Metcalf in full PPR. I will go with Metcalf there. Great matchup against Jacksonville. Tony, I don't know if he's going to play. I don't know what the workload's going to be like. Cooks has Davis Mills throwing in the ball against Los Angeles, the Rams. So I will just play DK Metcalf there. Adam Hoyt, high Kyle, standard scoring, T. Higgins, Dallas Goedert, Alex Collins at the flex. It's pretty close, actually. Between Higgins and Goddard, Collins is a little bit further down for me. I think I will go with T. Higgins there. I'll give the slight edge to T. Higgins just based on the 15 targets that he had last week. I love Dallas Goedert this week. Again, got him at tight end 3, but I will go with T. Higgins there. Todd Vogan, gross decision if Tony doesn't play. Dante Pettis, Byron Pringle, or Demarcus Robinson. I think that I will just go with Byron Pringle. Dante Pettis is really only a pivot option if we knew that like Sterling Shepard was going to miss as well, and if we get that clarity. So I will play Byron Pringle. He's getting the targets at least the most targets out of that grouping. Dan King, PPR Gage, T.Y. Hilton, or Jarvis Landry. I will go with Landry if I need a safe floor. I will go with Russell Gage. You asked Russell Gage, T.Y. Hilton, or Landry. I will go with Russell Gage. I've got Gage at 30, and then Landry a little bit further down, T.Y. Hilton even further down. Shane, full PPR, Tyler Boyd, Jacoby Myers, or Darius Slayton. I will play Jacoby Myers. I have Myers at 37 on the week. 36. And then Tyler Boyd is at 39. And Darius Slayton further down. Matt Grisham start. Herbert, Mitchell, or Booker. these guys are all kind of grouped together. I think you have all three in a row. Hold on. You asked Khalil Herbert, Elijah Mitchell, or Devontae Booker. I have Elijah Mitchell at 20, Khalil Herbert at 21, Devontae Booker at 22. So really, they're all in the same tier. Flip a coin. I will go with Elijah Mitchell. Let's go with Zach, PPR, Gibson or Gainwell. I will play Gibson there. Kamikaze, Alex Collins, or Javonte Williams in full PPR. I will play Alex Collins there just based on the matchup. Play the matchup game there with those running backs. I'll go Alex Collins. Seth Costello. I will go with half PPR, Darrell Henderson or Cordell Patterson. I will play Darrell Henderson there. I've got Henderson at 6 on the week, guys. Going up against Houston. I know he disappointed last week against Detroit in a smash spot, but the matchup here against Houston is amazing. So I will play Darrell Henderson. Let's see, Potts, who has the higher ceiling at the flex, Claypool or Gronk? I will play Claypool over Gronk in his first game back. Again, game time decision there for Gronk, so I will just play it safe. I'll play Claypool. Austin Reed, Damian Harris, or T. Higgins. Depends on the format. If it's a standard league, you go with Damian Harris. If it's any sort of PPR, you go with T. Higgins. Evan Manning, half PPR, Dearness Johnson, Marvin Jones, or Jarvis Landry. Let's talk about Dearness Johnson really quick. I think that he's someone who has the potential to fill that Kareem Hunt role and be a nice complement to Nick Chubb in this backfield while Kareem Hunt is out of the lineup. However, we don't know that. We don't know what his workload is going to be, if he's going to step into that role, or if they're going to throw the ball more to the wide receivers, if they're involving the tight ends. Like, we just don't know what the workload and volume is for Dearness Johnson. So if I've got Johnson, I want to sit him 1 week here and then come back to the table next week and potentially plug him into a lineup as a low end RB2 or whatever the case may be, depending on what his volume is here. In the first game where we know that Nick Chubb is active, I want to wait this one out a little bit. So I will go with Marvin Jones over Jarvis Landry. Jacob Stamper, Trevor Lawrence, or Dak Prescott. I will play Prescott right now, but you got to have a backup plan ready to go. Junkman, Matty Ice without Ridley, or Trevor Lawrence. They are right in the same range for me. I have Matt Ryan at 12, actually. And then I have, who did you ask? Trevor Lawrence. I have Trevor Lawrence at 16. So I would still play Matt Ryan. I mean, it's not like Calvin Ridley was doing a ton anyway for Matt Ryan. So I think I would be more concerned about Ryan and potentially moving off of him if we had Kyle Pitts out, right? That's just a crazy thing to say at this point of the season, at least compared to what we thought we had coming into the year. But at this point, I will just, Matt Ryan, I'll play him over Trevor Lawrence, but they're in the same range. Esteban Jimenez, please pick Elijah Mitchell or Alex Collins in PPR. I will go with Elijah Mitchell there over Alex Collins. Armadillo Racetrack, half PPR, Brandon Cooks or Waddle. I will go with Jalen Waddle there. I've got him at 28, Brandon Cooks at 30. Pretty close, though. Sue Ann Rudley, Patterson or Deontay Johnson in half PPR, or in the half for the flex. I would go with Deontay Johnson there over Cordero Patterson. That's pretty close, but Deontay Johnson, I think, has plenty of upside in this one. I've got him at 12 in my wide receiver rankings. Brian Smith, flex half PPR, Devontae Smith or Melvin Gordon. I will go with Devontae Smith there. Melvin Gordon, tougher matchup against Washington's run defense. And without, clarity on what this situation looks like as far as, Javonte Williams, it's a 50-50 split still. So there's very little upside for Melvin Gordon. He's got to find the end zone. I will go with Devontae Smith there. AB20, Woods, Judy, Shepard. You need the upside. You play Robert Woods. There's plenty of upside for Robert Woods this week against Houston. Jerry Jeudy and Sterling Shepard in my 30s in my wide receiver rankings. Robert Woods at 18. Chris Franz, Fournette or Mixon. I will play Mixon here. Fantastic matchup versus Fournette having a tougher matchup against the New Orleans Saints. I think this is opposite ends of the spectrum, right? You look at Mixon, the best matchup for opposing running backs. Fournette, one of the toughest. So I will just play the matchup game there. Go with Mixon. Scott, PPR, Higbee or Cortland Sutton. I will play Higbee, honestly. Cortland Sutton a little bit further down in my wide receiver rankings than Higbee. Pandito Jr., Mixon, Hubbard, Kamara, Booker. Start two. Well, you're obviously starting Alvin Kamara, and you're obviously starting Joe Mixon. So kind of takes care of it there. Mixon and Kamara both top 10 plays for me. At least I think so. Yeah, Mixon at 9. So, and then Kamara at 3. Eric C, PPR, Mixon or Pittman at the flex. I will go with I'll go with Mixon. I'll go with the upside just based on the matchup there. Pittman, I think, is going to have a solid game, but I like Mixon in this matchup against New York. Nick Smith, Kalamazoo, Michigan. Awesome. Full PPR, Robert Woods or Kenneth Gainwell in my flex. I will play Robert Woods there. I feel a little bit more confident in Robert Woods than Kenneth Gainwell. Steve Foster, flex half point PPR. McKissick or Seals Jones. I'll probably just play Seals Jones there. Feel a little bit more confident when I'm going to get out of RSJ than JD McKissick. Kent Clark, hey Yates, thanks for being here. Absolutely, thank you for being here. Full PPR, you need a Ridley replacement. Higgins, Pittman, or Judy. Thank you so much. I'm going to go with Pittman here. I've got Pittman at 17. Higgins at 22. Question mark? Yes. Higgins at 22, and then Judy at 32. So I will play Pittman there. DLF, standard scoring, CD with no Dak, or Jerry Judy. I will still go with CD Lamb there, even if we know that Dak isn't going to play. I'll still play CD Lamb there over Jerry Judy. Kyle Canada, Emmanuel Sanders, Waddle, Jerry Judy, Zach Moss, Michael Carter, full PPR, pick 2 of them. I'm going to go with Emmanuel Sanders for sure for the upside. And then it's between, in a full PPR, I actually might go Michael Carter there over Jalen Waddle, over Jerry Judy. Just based on the fact that where's the ball going to go for New York? Mike White seems to love to check it down to the running backs. I will go with Emmanuel Sanders, Michael Carter. Rel, Van Jefferson, Slayton, or Tim Patrick. I really don't want to play any of these guys, but I will go with the upside there of Darius Slayton, I believe. Let me check where I've got Darius Slayton. He's coming into this one questionable too. No, I will go actually. I will go with Van Jefferson here. I've got him at 50. I've got Tim Patrick at 54, and I've got Darius Slayton at 58. With Van Jefferson up against Houston, I think that we see. I think that we see him involved in this one, and he has potential to find the end zone. Laura and Jim Cooperman, Alex Collins or Tony Pollard into PPR. I will still go Alex Collins there. William R. Flex Elijah Mitchell or Keenan Allen. I will go with Keenan Allen there. Xavier Hilton or Cooks in half PPR. I will go with Brandon Cooks over T.Y. Hilton. T.Y. Hilton a little bit further down in my wide receiver rankings. Selen Garza, Mixon or Eckler. That is close. For me, I have Eckler at 10. I have Joe Mixon at 9. So I will play Joe Mixon there. Kona Brown, I have Matt Ryan, but can pick up Bridgewater or Daniel Jones. Do I stick with Ryan or pick up one of the other two? I'm going to play Daniel Jones over Matt Ryan this week. So I'll drop Matt Ryan to pick up Daniel Jones. Jeff Laguerre, Mixon or DeAndre Swift in a standard league. I will go standard, brings it a little bit closer, but I think I will still go with DeAndre Swift over Joe Mixon, just with Jamal Williams out. If Williams was playing, I'd probably lean Mixon there. AJP, yo, Woody needs some help. Full PPR, excuse me, full PPR, pick one. Damian Harris versus Elijah Mitchell versus Chuba Hubbard. In a full PPR's actually, no, it doesn't bring it closer because all these guys really don't catch the ball a ton. So I will go with Damian Harris. I've got him the highest in my running back rankings. Go for just a couple more questions here, guys. A couple more minutes. Nathan Burns, Yates, you need a win. Bad, Boyd or Pollard in full PPR? I will go with Pollard. With Tyler Boyd, he's taking a clear back seat here to T. Higgins, to Jamar Chase, obviously. So with Tony Pollard, I think that there's the potential that we see him see an uptick in work if Dak doesn't go. Even if he does, then we're going to, have a high scoring game where we're going to need as many receiving options as we can to put points up on the board. So I think there's more upside with Pollard this week than there is with Boyd. Mark Steele, full PPR, Myers or Gage. I will go with Russell Gage there. Got him at 30, Myers at 36. Kyle K, PPR, Herbert or Burrow. Herbert or Burrow. I have Burrow at 7. I have Justin Herbert at 8. I would play Joe Burrow. Drew Rogers, half PPR, Emmanuel Sanders or Amari Cooper. That's pretty close. They're in the same range for me. I have Amari Cooper at 21. And again, that's if I knew that Dak wasn't going to play, I'd probably bump him down to below Emmanuel Sanders. So same range for me. If you want to just take the shot on Emmanuel Sanders, then I think that I'm fine doing that. Rolando, full PPR pick 2, Higgins, Woods, and Darrell Williams. I will go with Higgins and Woods there. The Wiz, Conklin or Ingram in PPR. Really not excited to start either one of those guys. I have Evan Ingram at 18. I have Tyler Conklin at 19. So I will still play Evan Ingram. And then the last one here, Juggernaut, love the costume. Thanks for all you do. Gage without Ridley or Waddle versus the Bills with Parker back. Gage or Waddle. I will still play Jalen Waddle there. I have them pretty close, but that is in the same range for me. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me for the last hour. Remember to like this video and subscribe to the YouTube channel here at youtube.com/fantasypros. Appreciate each and every one of you. Enjoy your Halloween. Enjoy, if you are a parent, taking that parent tax there of the candy. You got to make sure that it's okay. You got to check it out and just make sure that there's no poison in it. So enjoy that, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day and good luck in your week 8 matchups. I'll talk to you in 2 weeks.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.